you know what? You keep doing all this perio. You keep asking to do all this perio. You need to go back to school. And I took his advice and left.
You see, we all talk about imposter syndrome. I've shared experiences when I wasn't allowed to walk in the room. Yes, sir. Man, it's a blessing. Introduce myself. My name is Dr. Jared Rosenberg from Dallas, Texas. I've been practicing for 8 years now. Throw it over to my left.
Dr. Shante Reed, practicing for 5 months now.
All right, I'm Dr. Jared Williams from Houston, Texas. Been practicing for 13 years as a concierge dental surgeon.
Amen.
Dr. Fatima Robertson, board certified periodontist, been practicing 26 years.
Ooh-wee. Oh, we got all ranges in here right now. I see, you said concierge, so just give us some history of concierge dentistry.
So basically, doctors that are going to refer cases out, I would come to their office and do thirds, implants, sedation. Keep it simple. I got the model from one of my mentors, opposed to opening up a practice. I was just like, you know what? Let me go ahead and go into the office. Another thing is the reason why I did it is because I do a lot of mission work, and so I never wanted to shut down the office for like a whole month. And so it gives me flexibility, go on site, do what I gotta do, and also go in different countries and do the same thing.
Okay.
So it works out really nicely.
You said a mentor, so what type of mentor you have? Because one would say, why not get a specialist in and do it?
Well, I mean, some specialists it just depends upon the fit, right? But it really just depends upon the relationships, and then some offices don't have the production for a specialist to come in.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right, 26 years over here.
Absolutely.
You said board certified what now?
Board certified
Okay.
periodontist.
No need to bleed around this thing. Keep it aesthetically good around this blood. So what got you into like perio?
Well, I actually always liked surgery. I was a general dentist before for about 4 years, and then I also moonlighted during my entire residency. So my background is actually, I have 7 years of general dentistry under my belt. But I didn't like enough of general dentistry. I didn't like crowns. I didn't like bridges. I didn't like kids. I didn't like.
I like it. Let me tell you something. I'm going back to school for a little bit.
I had to have a come to Jesus meeting with myself.
Okay, I love
and
it.
finally, the guy that I was working for as an associate, he was like, you know what? You keep doing all this perio. You keep asking to do all this perio. You need to go back to school. And I took his advice and left.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the commonality, like mentorship.
Mentorship, that's it.
Mentorship. Dr. Reed over here, you experiencing something right now too as well, right?
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Just graduated 2024, May 2024, yes, long time coming. Non-traditional student, so very long time coming, but currently a general practice resident at a hospital in Kansas City, Missouri. So they're kind of advancing my skills and, oral sedation, IV sedation.
Okay.
Oral surgery, thirds, dabbling thirds, implants, and then of course the crowns, the bridges, stay away from the kiddos. But, I'm there with you. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing, just kind of honing my skills.
Question. What made you seek that route of going to the advanced general dentistry, like residency and stuff like that? Like why choose that?
I'm very particular. I know exactly what I want. And I searched, I kind of did the job route looking. I just didn't feel like any office could give me everything I wanted. So like I said, I wanted implants. I wanted, surgical extractions, thirds, IV sedation, and no place could give me all of that. So what's 1 year to go get it? So to me, it was a simple choice, 1 year, sacrifice of income to, come out on the other side clinically advanced.
Okay.
So,
man, I would say my story is like the same, but we're different. I really didn't even want to seek residency when I first came out there. I'm like, just put me in there, like just throw me out there with the wolves. Like I'm ready. I tried to do a lot underneath my professor at the time, Jody Simmons, like in dental school, because did I know I wanted to do like veneers, but I knew I wanted to do full smile rehabilitation because my history of like messed up teeth goes a long way back to where I'm from. Like everybody got bad teeth, so it's like I kind of want to learn how to restore that. So I was big on just wanting to make sure the crowns and stuff like that just look nice. Give me something that look nice and the patient be happy and I feel good about what I'm doing. So I got out and like it was an alumni association under my school website, And literally, very last minute, I was like, "Hey, man, I'm just looking for a job." literally, I'm just looking for a job. I'm just here, so you know what I'm saying. I'm just here to get, you know what I mean.
Song get fine.
I'm just here, so get by type of stuff. Like literally, I work in a small town, like outside of Dallas, 3 days a week, and man, this man patients loved him, and you couldn't tell him he did no wrong, did no wrong. He was like, he just, hey, well, Rosie, just go in there and do what you want to do. I'm like, wait, man, these ain't even my people, man. I don't even know this. So they would let me do anything on him because they trusted him. So if I wanted to go practice third molar extractions, go in there and do it.
Wow.
Like, if you want to go place an implant, at this time I had no implants underneath my belt. Go in there and do it. And it's like, we talking about y'all remember the old X-ray sensors? Yeah. To where you just take them and you gotta measure the depth on the film. Yeah. We measuring the depth of an implant to place on
That's
film.
wild.
No cone beam. He was that type of guy. So, but I learned a lot what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
He allowed me to push my limits until I couldn't push them, but he was good to just say go in there and do it. So I learned. I'm very hands-on. And the education came from me just learning through repetition and understanding what it meant to really be in a patient space. We always think about our space as dentists, what I'm comfortable with. But more than times, it's about the patient comfort too. Do they trust you to more so of fill that void that they're looking for? And it goes into what are ways that you would say that you get to gain their respect from that, to lose that fear and gain that comfort from the patient?
Now, I like that. I like that you said that because as a doc who comes into the office, I've never seen the patient. I don't do consults. And that's purpose. That's by design. And the rationale behind the no consults is because if a patient is coming into the office, they have so much anxiety built up, they don't want to be there.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be there.
Once again,
because the goal is this: is the model is you see me, you get paid. That's the model. Not you see me, we plan and play, but the goal is to be productive. But what I've learned is that you could build rapport in 60 seconds flat, and you don't have to see these patients. You don't have to do all these jump through hoops. There's a way in which you speak to the patient by simply asking them, hey, where are you from? What high school did you go to? Because what it does is it takes that anxiety off their surgery for just enough for them to just forget about what's going on. And so what happens is that, or when a doctor is able to build that rapport, I call it they're breaking the anxiety pathway. Because when you break that anxiety pathway, it gives them that much less time to focus on the problem. And you bring that needle to them, for them to just be like, oh, and what happens is patients are like, oh, we're done. And then if you're a halfway competent clinician, or in an environment like yourself where a doctor is basically setting you up for the win, it allows the procedure to go so much smoothly. So I want to say just understanding that these aren't typhonauts, these are real living human beings, that they have emotions. They're not trying to pay. Some of them, even if they have the money, it's time off from work, it's the recovery, it's the fear of the unknown, and just being able to take that time to truly care, it will really allow an individual to do some great work and to receive work upon them. And that's coming from somebody who doesn't have as much contact time as somebody who has a practice or has a traditional practice or just a residency. So I'm able to come in and do it. And it's not challenging. It's just actually truly caring. There's a couple things that you could do, but it's just truly caring about the patient.
All right. Dr. Fatima, what are some ways you break that barrier?
I always introduce myself as the boogeyman.
Oh, wow. You go straight for the kill. Let me tell you something. It's going to be real.
I am the boogeyman. But I always say I am the specialist, so I'm really at the pinnacle of what you need to have done.
Hey, man. Say that again. A woman doing what? At the pinnacle.
So that's what I always say, but it does. It breaks the ice with the patient, and it allows them to understand that you have a complex issue and there's something that needs to be done about it. So go ahead and see that I am the boogeyman. I am the person, I am what the boogeyman looks like, but I assure you that I'm competent and that when you leave, you will be comfortable and you won't have the same anxiety that you came in with. So that's one of the ways I break the anxiety pathway. I'm real with it. I'm realistic.
Real.
Yeah.
Like
real
you
with
understand, like addressing the elephant in the room. I know what you're thinking, so I'm gonna
Exactly.
give you that physical look that I'm really not a beautiful. I'm really not a boogeyman. I'm beautiful. Like, literally, this is what the boogeyman now looks like. I'm a beautiful black woman. You know, especially at the pinnacle.
At the pinnacle.
You came to solve me because I can solve a solution to your problem. So I am not the boogeyman that you see. You know,
Like that.
I am. Yeah, exactly. So you know that transition and where I feel like you're ready to go in. Like, how do you gain a report? Because some would say you have a history. So let's tell about your history before you even got to dentistry to help and see how that kind of like translate to your patient report.
Yeah,
'Cause
so
I studied you. Like I did my homework on you now.
So like I said, non-traditional. So, went to college 16 years old, young, a little baby. Went to college at 16, graduated at 20. Had a good time in college. So I had to come home, kind of right some of those wrongs. Went and got a master's eventually. Then I became a college professor. So I actually was the youngest and the only African-American person in my department, in the biology department, teaching anatomy and phys or any science, biology, subject at both colleges that I was teaching at. I was only 24 years old. And so it was kind of like, I didn't think I'd ever be here until after I was a doctor, but I got blessed, recommended to take that role at just very, very young. So I did that. And then, I worked in an office, ortho office. That kind of helped with my skills. So the teaching, of course, helps with just being able to educate. So being able to break things down. We work with patients. We got to break things down. We have to, bring it down to their level, get them to relate. So I would say that really helped there. And then just working in the office, so being chairside, so educating, actually being in people's mouth, being comfortable, all of that, very much so prepared me, just for my journey into school. Did I leave anything out since you studied me?
Because I always find it interesting when you transition, you take a transition wave of being a professional like teacher, then a professional clinician, and how is that jump? Is it different or is it the same? Like, are we all people in certain instances? Do you look at a patient and say, I see the kid in you? Because that's real. Like, we all have these fears and we start numbing people up. They go back to their kid side and start trying to swap the little thing out their hand.
No, we ain't doing that.
Exactly. But then you go back to like, nah, we ain't doing that.
We ain't doing that.
So it's like,
It's transferable.
Okay.
Undoubtedly, it's transferable. I was 24 years old teaching people older than me.
Yeah.
I had students that were 50, 24 years old. I had students that were 18. So same thing in dentistry. 31 years old, teaching people who are 72, teaching people who are 13. So very, very, very transferable.
Okay. All right. Well, one of the connections I see like in what we're doing, not even just connecting each other, but the connection to the community. And we all draw different communities. What we say is we're doing research, it's about 8 billion people in the world, like it's leaning towards that. And now it's like being a Black clinician, you're able to go into your own community just because they look at you and they connect with you, because what you fear may not be the same thing I fear. But if we fear the same thing, I know how to resonate with you now.
Right.
Like real recognize real in that same instance. So growing up where I'm from is I always knew we feared the dentist because we got fillings in our teeth or either pull the tooth. So anytime I talk to a patient, it's almost like, hey, we ain't pulling it. And I ain't finna give you just a silver filling, but we're gonna try to figure out the whole problem. I know you ain't pain. Matter of fact, I ain't got no back tooth either. So I know what you're missing. I know that if I start pulling teeth on you, your whole perception you're gonna change, and one day you're gonna need a denture. Because the first thing they're gonna say, just snatch it out, doc. Hey, wait a minute. We ain't just snatching this out now. We can't just snatch it out, because you gotta know the repercussions is just of pulling a tooth. One start moving, it's like a domino effect. They all start moving. You lose one, you lose all type of thing. Matter of fact, if we do pull it, what is the plan to replace this tooth? What are the plans? So it's like you have to see the game within the game, but actually see the field too as well, like to visualize like what is this full scope. And I always tell people like how I got into cosmetic rehabilitation. I started with dentures. Like I love dentures because my first patient, she called me Jerry. Like Dr. Jerry, she brought me the little model of like an old bald guy. Like old bald guy. Like I still got it to this day. I'm first right down the middle, bald. Right on the sides there. I'm like, oh, you trying to play me right now? She's like, this is black dentist Dr. Jerry. I still got it to this day. And like her small smile transformed like with a denture. She was so like into it. So all my dental students going out there right now, like, do not despise denture work because it shows you how to get the VDO. It shows you how to truly transform the canine to canine guidance and everything, the curve of speed, everything that you're looking for in cosmetics. It's there in dentures. In the patients, like you see the patient pool, they resonate you because these are the same grandmas that pray for you, like grandpas and everything. Like they're really like, you know what, you're gonna be something in life. You're gonna don't know what I'm doing at home, but you're gonna be something, you know. So, and I love that connection to where it's like it's a community thing, you know. Like we all want the big grand scope, but you gotta look on the simple basics. Who are those ones in your corner that is truly praying that you advance your skills to the next level and see that greatness in you, even before you see it? We all talk about imposter syndrome. I've shared experiences when I wasn't allowed to walk in the room. You know, did I allow it to deter my confidence? I didn't, but it made me step into who I want to be. Like it made me step into like, oh, hey, it's really time. Like it give you the extra edge when a patient say, no, you black. I feel more comfortable with someone who look like me. You know, so now I look at it as like, all right, bet. But because I know what I carry. When you know what you carry, I'm not even gonna argue with you. You know, I'm not even gonna play that role of let me go prove a point because it's already in me. It's in me, not on me. So now I take that as like, you know what? Know who you are in each circumstance. Know the skills that God blessed you with when you walk in every room because the best skill is walking away. You know, I see that a lot to where I used to try to convince a patient to get work and it didn't turn out the way it needed to be. And next thing you know, they're upset that they spent money and they upset that they're in pain, which these are normal circumstances. And life just hit that they really didn't want you anyway.
So how long did it take for you to get to that point, and what was the situation that transpired? Because I think that's really important to...
It was scenarios, like it was overcoming, and it was more so of giving people their money back. It was more so of recognizing their spirit and giving me discernment before they even walked in the door. It was hearing the stories that came through my head that previously when I got my first job, that yes, I was welcome to touch any patient, but the patient still had to find a rapport with me and know like my comfortability in the way I shifted their head and talked to me in a calming voice and a soothing voice. They was like, you know what? He really know what he's doing. And that's what transpired. But then when it didn't go well, when it didn't work at all, when they just, I don't like it, period. You know, I just don't like you because I don't know you or something inside of me don't fit well with what you're doing. You know, and that's when you got to truly know what's inside of you, because you get lost on this track of trying to fit the narrative of someone else. You know, I think that plays a big part in imposter syndrome. You know, you say what instances? I can name instances right now to this day. I believe, you know, you can't take down Google reviews. I was in that same small city, and they said the doctor came in smelling like chicken. Literally. Doctor came in smelling like chicken. It wasn't even my chicken. It wasn't mine. It was the owner chicken. But I said, cool. They left a review. Cool. I ain't got to touch them no more. And that there, like, it built me up to say, you know what? Everybody ain't gonna like you, bro. Don't let that play with your head. Everybody ain't gonna like you. So I ain't even finna let it bother me, because I'm not finna let you play mind games with me to trick me out of my position. So when the patient came in, you know me, how you doing? The doc gonna be right with you. We ain't gotta fake it. They'll sit your ground. I ain't gotta touch you. I ain't finna play with you. You already said what you had to say. You showed me who you are, so I gotta trust you now.
For sure.
You know, I gotta trust what you're doing. So, but I know that some people, it can bother them, because like the transition of like developing thick skin, you go through suffering, right? To build that callus. Like some people want to go straight to here, They want to go straight to the elite pinnacle and don't go through the suffering to build that wherewithal that you gotta have to get to the elite, you know? So it's more like, nah, you can't skip the processes. Some patients not going to rock with you. And this is why it's more important than ever that our community is starting to rock with us. So what better way to start knowing that we're the best? We have the best artistic skills. They come because they like the culture. They come because they see themselves in us as doctors, and they see that, you know what? I'm gonna pray for you. I'm not gonna pray on you. I'm gonna pray for you. And now it's just a community building thing that we're seeing now. And we sticking together because they're not saying like you smell like chicken. You know what? Matter of fact, go give me a 2-piece too then, baby. Go give me a 2-piece too. You know, where you get that chicken from? That one instance, I was taught to walk in it, right? You know, where we from is fake it till you make it. Now I believe faith it till you make it. Like, you just gotta know. So in that one instance, it transferred me to, like, you really just gotta know what you're doing. Like, you gotta. So I would say, how long? I would say my first year out of dental school, I was ready.
That's wild.
Like my first year, like ask them, like they'll tell you, like that dude is different. I was in my black dental groups with my friends. We gotta come together, bro. Like, you know, we gotta do it. And now, fast forward now to this day, we all been through our transgressions to where we see like, oh, we really should have been sticking together. Cause we used to talk about trading crypto, group with Dr. Jiro. We were always in them groups talking about, and I'm always like, hey bro, it's cool now, but what we gonna do is upset this. Like, we're gonna change the narrative as dentists because I see what's going on out there. You know, I'm a business-minded type of person thinking, so I'm knowing like, one day we gonna stick together. You know, so my first year I came out swinging. I was ready. Even if you put me in there with all white dental staff, I knew how I was. I brought culture, I was fly. Came in there with suits on sometimes until I just got tired of suits and said, you know what? Let me come in there comfortable. Came in there comfortable. J's on. Rosie, you crazy, Rosie. But yeah, you can say it, but it's bringing in the people that you love too. That's bringing business to you. I'm not doing it to get my percentage, but it's bringing people out here. You know, so it took me about a year. I mean, throw it to you. And this is something that all doctors deal with, right?
Right.
That transferring of imposter syndrome. What would you say would be typical?
So when it comes from the page, like how to be yourself as a clinician, it's super important. I want to, like you said, going through the valleys and understanding what that feels like, but then also staying in community so that people who've been there, done that could say, now you're good. So for instance, it took me, I've been practicing for 13 years. It took me about 11 before I felt comfortable as a clinician. As a person, that was always there.
Yeah.
But as a clinician, I'm like, oh man, are they gonna call me back? Like, because the thing is, this is like, as a conscientious dental surgeon, I have the assistant, I have the patient, the office manager, the doctor, and the last set of eyes are me. So I have all 10 set of eyes on me at every point in time. And it took me almost 11 years to be like, nah, shoot. If they're in pain, that's on them. Like, I literally tell patients, like, if you're go numb, you're the lucky patient. Yeah. And I'm just comfortable with that. And so, number one, I had to go through those trials. I had to be in community of individuals who had a genuine sense of wanting me to be great. And then I just had to trust God, like, yo, you have a gift.
Yeah.
And that's a huge thing, because when you understand that you have a purpose, you have a gift, and if you're in the right spot, nobody can displace you except yourself. Now, I don't do crowns.
Y'all what y'all missing out of there. No, what you missing out of there.
I don't even do crown lengthening. That's how much I don't even like it. It's so
Don't get them, Doc. Don't get them, Doc.
So the thing is, this is like, I know what I do. I know what I like, and I've established a niche for myself that works well with me. And I look back on the reviews, on the experiences, and they've all been great, but it took me 11 years to actually believe it. Like, it's wild, like the reviews, 5 stars, being at Meharry, HBCU, going to Penn for my VA GPR training. Like, these are great institutions, and I'm still like, dang, am I really doing it? And it's just like, it took 11 years.
During that time, did you, although you doubted that you, if you were really, did you believe you were too?
What?
Like, did you also believe, like, I'm really doing this, but I'm worried that they don't think I'm really doing this?
I never thought about them. It was just like, man, I could do better. I could do better. I could do better. I could do better. And I'm doing great. I just didn't see it. Like people would say, and I want to say, it really boils down to the environment that you keep. Because I was talking to my wife the other day, and she has some friends that I'm like, they're successful, but they're not at where they could be. And it's because of imposter syndrome. And these are doctors, these are some great minds, but it's just like they're doctors, but they're at the lower level. And so when I started putting myself in environments like these, when somebody would say something, I was like, yeah, that's it. Opposed to like, you did pretty good on that. I don't know if I really did. And that's a crazy place to be because now that's schizophrenia. That is that is mental health. That leads into depression, anxiety. Like you're not able to be yourself. But now, like I am going into practices that most people wouldn't necessarily get an opportunity, and they're calling in. Opposed to, hey, can I get a job? Can I get a job? And the only reason why is because now I'm comfortable with me being me. I'm not code switching. How you doing? My name is Jared. Like, I will laugh. Like you'll hear me laughing at the other opportunities. So it's just, but it's just like, laugh right there. but the thing is, this is like, I had to be in environments of high achieving people because I don't necessarily consider a doctor as a high achieving individual. Research shows that if you take people who are low performers and you put them with high performers, they're going to raise to that level. And so, honestly,
like sports, when you say you play to level your competition.
Exactly.
So you got to overcome.
So you have to overcome, but it's like, but there's levels to this thing. And so when I started cutting away people that aren't on the trajectory that I wanted to be, or not even my trajectory, but light years ahead of me, it was only then that I was able to look at that and be like, yo, I belong. I'm that guy, and be comfortable with it. But it took a very long time, 11 years. 11 years. 11. Not 1 year, but 11. And the thing is, and then the thing is, this is like, I'm going to somebody else's office. Like, people who operate in their own practice, it's just like, I could bury my problems. But doc's like, Doc, this implant, I don't. So it's just, so I have all those eyes, and so it took that long. And that's maybe the situation. That's a lot of pressure. Like, I'm not bringing along an assistant. Unless I'm doing like big cases, I'm not bringing an assistant. Like,
so was that switch you, or was that switch a certain someone that you really valued their input and what they said, that it was like you just needed them, some sort of validation from a certain something, or someone, or some scope of this profession to make it switch?
So there was we had some very, like my wife and I, we've had some really traumatic things happen. And I've had to take on the burden of that. And between trusting God and understanding that I have a gift, it has allowed me to recognize that, yo, you belong. And then what I started doing is I started looking back at the track record and the awards and the successes that I've had. I never did that. It was just always on to the next one. And I never was doing any reflection. But when I started being around individuals that were light years ahead of me, I was able to trust what they were saying about me, opposed to like, oh, no, it's not that big of a deal. And you're like, no, dude, you're dope. And so it just took the time and a lot of trauma allowed me to get thick skin to be like, yo, nah, I'm that guy. In a respectful.
And I'm going to interject something, because when you said that, when you never took time to look back and realize what your accomplishments were, I think that's critical, because when we're talking about creation, when we're talking about how God created the earth, on the sixth day, he sat and he looked at his work and he said, it is good. And I had to realize the same thing. That's actually what broke my imposter syndrome. I had to sit and look and recognize that I was one of two Black women, the second one being my partner, that started a practice in a very affluent county in Texas. And I had to realize that I had been in business. I had gotten through several storms. I had been able to take my business, transition it during COVID. There were several things that I was able to do that I didn't believe were accomplishments, but I had to sit and realize that I had been able to weather the storm. And that when God created the earth, he sat back and he looked and he reviewed and he said, it is good. And I had to realize that I am worthy, that I am well able to do what these people expect that I can do. And so I also had to say to myself, or the Holy Spirit said to me, listen, you're fearfully and wonderfully made.
Ooh.
I made you, and if you don't value who you are, I didn't put you here on this earth to run the same lane as someone else. Your counterpart may be white, they may be Hispanic, they may be whatever, but I made you who you are. I made you to wear your tennis shoes. I made you to wear your scrubs. They fit differently because you're curved differently, but I made it. So I'm different. I like to do different things other than my other counterparts, but I'm still the same person. I'm still professional. I'm still a great clinician, and I still am able to treat my people and people that don't look like me, but I'm still worthy. So.
That's real.
And I was honestly, like, going back to school, when they say it don't cost nothing to be real, like, I told my professor, I said, man, it takes me too much energy being put on a fake voice. I can't do it. Like, it takes too much energy. I can't go there or just speak correct. I can't really talk in doctor terms, but I can tell you, I can shoot it straight to you. Cause you know how you present a case to your professor, right?
Yeah.
Well, this clinical, like, hey doc, it takes me too much energy to do that. He said, you know what, J-Ro? They call me J-Ro back in school. Be yourself. I'm like, bet. Well, listen, this patient over here, man, she in pain, bro. Like, she in pain right here in this jaw right here. Until this day, like, when I break it down to the patient, like, man, like, I understand it. Like, yeah, because I'm going to give it to you the way that I grew up getting it.
Yeah.
I grew up getting it this way. So I think I was cultivating an environment that said, be yourself early, because it took me so much energy. Like, even though we knew the SPEP programs, like pre-dental programs, man, I was going to them with J's on and Gucci shoes. Like, all the time. They knew, man, this dude here, man, he crazy, but he gonna make good grades. But, man, something about this dude is different. We rapping in a what's in that, like, literally, because we had dorms at that time. We just seen I'm rapping. So it was like, I would thank God that I always was allowed to be myself, because he know I can't code switch.
Stay in your own lane, it won't be no traffic.
He knew I can't code switch because where I'm from, they call it fake.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be fake. I couldn't be something I wasn't. Like, cause that's engraved in you where we from. Like, hey, you can't fake it to you. You gotta be who you are. Like, you can't talk about nobody. You can't like, don't go out there do none of that. Like, keep it real. So code switching, like, I used to see some people in my class, like, I ain't gonna talk about you, but they used to go right after the professor and just try to talk to him and be like, bro, we just got the lesson like 20 minutes ago and you already got questions. I know you didn't study, bro. So what you got questions? We gotta go home and learn it first. So I'm not gonna go out there just to get a good grade on my test and act like I'm really into this. Nah, bro. I shadowed one dentist before I became a dentist. One. And I always say mine is divine intervention. Yeah. God put me in this field.
I got a question for y'all. So, being the youngest, professionally, in age, took you 11 years. Did you give a number?
I didn't give a number,
but a time.
I just
Mr. 1 year here.
Nah.
But my question is just to get back to the imposter, because that is one of our own biggest, my favorite phrases. You're your own competition.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of our biggest barriers to ourselves. We stand in our own way. So what is the advice? I asked you because it's something I still deal with, but being in the presence of people that I have validated to myself, that I seem as a pinnacle level of upper, someone who I value their opinions. I trust what they see in me. It slowly begins to fade. It's like, oh, I knew it. But to hear somebody that I see it in me, it validates it. Mm-hmm. It's almost like if I were to have someone who maybe I was like, oh, thanks for the compliment. Thanks. Maybe just someone at school, a professor, it doesn't do it for you, right? You probably have people in your life at school, you're going to be great. You're going to be so great. Thanks. I know I'm going to be great. I need to hear it from people that I look up to. So as I think full circle of us and breaking that cycle for our community and our people, what is either the advice or the solution?
Life is full circle. What's that book, The Alchemist? The Alchemy?
Mm-hmm. The Alchemist.
Where it say everything you ever searching for is right always inside of you.
Yeah, you are what you're looking for.
If you get to the scripture early, I'm big on telling people get in the Bible early. Because when you get through it, you're gonna see everything is inside. So you just gotta go through those pains that Christ did to overcome. Like, he didn't say he was gonna like remove your enemies out. He said I was gonna prepare a table for you. I was gonna prepare a feast in front of your enemies. Prepare a table. Like, he didn't say he's gonna remove it. And the biggest enemy is the devil to get you. You operate in lack. You lack skills. You lack talent. You lack humility. You lack confidence. That is the devil's biggest trick, to tell you that you're not good enough. So take my hand now, because I make you. And when you take it, you realize, because I've been in a position to take it. Like, I've taken the devil bait. So to know, like, oh, y'all, it ain't what it is, because these people over here lost. So matter of fact, they more lost. They lost over here, y'all. So when you go over there and realize it ain't what it is, you go back to realizing everything that I wanted was right inside. So I tell younger dentists, seek the Bible, and they think like, oh, Rose, give me the secret. Like, no, I'm telling you to help avoid all the stuff that I went through. Like, to get in the Bible, because it's gonna build you. It's gonna build you, but it's gonna break you too. It's gonna break you to a point where, like, you know what? He was always here. You know, there's sermon about in my darkest times, I realized it was only one set of footsteps carrying me to sin. It's like, no, he carrying you. Like, God got you. So I would tell younger people, in order to overcome imposter syndrome, seek Christ, find out what's inside of you, and get around people that you're reflecting. Like, you are your surrounding. You are your environment. And it's so big to where the people I go back and speak to, I have to tell them, like, you got to get you some friends that want to see your ideals grow. They want to make your ideals leap. They believe in you, but also believe in themselves. Because when they believe in themselves, they're going to tell you the truth. They're going to tell you the truth. Like, hey, bro, you can't do that. Because it's going to mess everything that we got going too, bro. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, get around some people that's going to really have your back, but also know they got their back.
Around them.
Yeah. Like, seriously. So I would say that to a youngster. I'm still young myself too. Don't play with me now. But yeah, I would say that to them.
So, docs, what do y'all feel about being Black and healthcare disparities? You think that has anything to do with skin color? And
when you say disparities, what you mean by disparities?
Like access to care.
Okay.
Yeah, nah, absolutely. I mean, as somebody who takes out teeth for a living, legitimately, not trying to save them, there is the notion of the clinician is typically going to see somebody, and it's not even just race, but it's just like maybe socioeconomic backgrounds. The thought process is like, oh, there's a big cavity in it, let's just take it out. Opposed to going down the list of doing a root canal, things along the line to actually save the tooth. For me, because I value relationships and I believe that I have a higher calling, the focus is let me just take this tooth out, because I believe in what you put out comes back. But being Black and being a Black patient, the treatment that you're typically going to get is going to be less than, because the thought process is like, oh, you're not going to take care of it. You're not going to have money to take care of it.
That part.
It's a systemic issue. It's a conscious, subconscious. Conscious.
So two things is that number one, as a patient who's looking at this, you have to realize that you're the best doctor. Number one. Number two is don't trust the doctor that's in front of you. That's the worst thing that you could do. That's the worst. If they aren't answering your questions that make you feel comfortable, if you don't have that feeling, an attraction to them, if they're not practicing what they're preaching or reviews in kind, then walk away. There was a patient that came to me. He was a 57-year-old Black male, had a horizontal impacted wisdom tooth that wasn't causing him any issues, had a lesion on 17 that was on the fence, and the roots were in the nerve. He calls me and says, hey, doc, I'm numb. I was like, I didn't do it. But he told me the situation. It was a white oral surgeon who did the procedure. His doctor sent him to this oral surgeon. The patient didn't have any chief complaint on wanting to get the treatment done, but because he trusted the doctor blindly, he ended up going through with the procedure. The procedure took, he said, 3 hours. I presume it probably took 1.5 hours just because of workup, IV sedation, whole nine. And if you look at the x-rays, it looks botched. Now, somebody who trains doctors and specialists to do third molar surgery, That didn't have to go down. Now he deals with the numb face, neuropathy, so pain when he lays on his pillow, the numbing, the throbbing, sometimes his tongue gets swollen at times. Now he's going down the lines of doing micro neurovascular surgery when they have to connect the nerve. And those procedures are super costly, and the likelihood of them being able to take is going to be challenging. So you're out of money, you're in pain, now you have multiple surgeries that you have to take on, and it didn't have to happen. And so it just doesn't happen to Black people, but we as Black people tend to be more understanding and more trusting to individuals who
I know about Black people, they got some bone on them. They got some dense bone. I'm serious, man. So I applaud you for that, man.
So it's one of these things to where, you know, you have to advocate for yourself. You have to ask questions, and it's unfortunate, but for me, it's just like my platform is to, in situations like these, to let doctors know, let the patient know, like, bring them along. It's a team approach when doing dentistry. I never tell the patient, oh, we're going to do this, and I pull them aside. I'm like, yo, this is what I see. What do you want to do? Because when something goes wrong,
you got to know.
We're doing this together.
Yeah.
And that's why I always say, you know, if we go wrong, you're the lucky person, not me, because I've done 12,000 of these. I teach, I've lectured globally, the whole nine.
Okay.
But I want you to understand that, yo, this is something that we're going down together. And if you feel comfortable, let's do it. If you don't, that's perfectly fine. I will personally show you another surgeon or another doctor that could give you that care that you need. And then on the flip side, you have Black patients who come in and they will see you as being Black and like, oh, I want a second opinion.
That's like the invert, like the inverse, like white coat syndrome. Like, wait a minute.
You could take all this.
I mean, that's crazy because I always feel like they don't deem it as, because we're so used to seeing like, man, I never met a Black dentist. You're like, I never met a godly. You sure? What? Come on, baby. Like, you know, like you see all that, right? This new age. You too young to be a dentist. Like, hold on, baby girl. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you see it, you know, so it's like that disparity that we're talking about it's a mind disparity, because education, my people perish for lack of knowledge.
Right.
Which means they don't know what it even look like us for even being a white coat to say it's a white coat syndrome. Like, what does it look like for Black people being a white coat? It hasn't been around in y'all instance, even though our people been fighting for a long time to become doctors, right? But they haven't saw it because if they did see it, it was usually in the Medicaid offices, in which we kind of had to give them, because the resources that we had to give in the Medicaid office was what? Like, you got to put a civil in it. So I see so many old patients now that have literally a core buildup of amalgam, like the whole tooth. And that's all my doctor could afford, or the flipper that's worn down, but the doctor, that's all they could give him at the time because that's all they can afford. You know, so it's like, or they look at it as like access to care as the wealthy only can provide. Like, this is a luxury item. Like, even like this, for instance, for veneers, right? It was either a luxury. About 5-10 years ago, dentistry was deemed as a luxury item. Like, it was straightforward that you didn't even know. Now, hip hop culture kind of changed that whole narrative that everybody get it. Everybody can't get a veneer. Like, let's be real, everybody can't get a veneer. You're gonna need a crown, zirconia crown at that. You know, you're a chopper, you're gonna break this veneer if I put this on you. You know, or even the whole of, you have to take care of your teeth before you even get to that process. So I'm gonna throw it to my periodontist.
Sure.
Right, because we know about the gums and even trying to get crowns around puffy gums. And
Sure.
our people, what they say, the percent of our people with perio?
The entire world, 50% of the population has periodontal disease, some form of periodontal disease, some gingivitis. 35% go on to have or move on to gum disease where there's a loss of bone. But when you said what you said in terms of like access to care, I think social media has done a great job. Specifically, you have done an awesome job with what you've done with your patient population. Your work is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. But what happens is when you educate your patients, what you're doing is you're infecting the world. You're saying, listen, I can do these veneers, but if your gums still bleed and if they're puffy, it's not going to work. So now what's happening is I have a younger population of patients come into my office, specifically African American males, who come and say, Doc, I want to get these veneers, but I was told that I have to have my gums straight. Let me go ahead and get that done. They come in routinely. I have them coming from South Dallas. I have them coming from, they're everywhere. Because now they see me on social media and they're like, oh, okay, you the gum doc? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and come, but I'm still going to get my veneers, but I need you to make sure that this is right before I get them. So social media has done an awesome job. And what you said about dentistry becoming a luxury item, now it's much more in reach, I believe, because people want to have the beautiful teeth, because social media and life now won't let you not have a beautiful smile.
I think social media is also showing people
Yeah.
that you can have it. It's not just for the elite.
Yes.
So I think social media is showing you that there are these Black providers out there who are, they're doing high profile, but then they also doing, somebody from the hood. They're changing their smile, changing their life, giving them their life back. You can get a whole different job. And it's like, oh, well, maybe I will call and get a consult because that person looked like that and they were able to go in and get their mouth done. And if they looked like that and they could afford it, maybe I can look like that and I can afford it too. And also our providers, like consults, most of us aren't even charging much in these cosmetic realms for consults. It's just like that fear of like, well, I'm never going to call because I don't want to have to say I can't afford it. Social media is showing you, oh, consults $5, consults free. Oh, you can do them on the phone. We'll do them for free, 10 minutes. You don't even have to leave work. You don't have to miss work. Like it's like we as Black providers are changing that access to care for our community across the country. And social media really is playing its part in...
Because we realizing what we deserve. We deserve a smile.
That's good.
Like, we deserve a smile. Like, my granny went through pain, not with no teeth, and just had to go through stomach ulcers and problems to adjust her denture and all those things because she can't chew food and swallow whole. To now, it's like, no, I'm interested in, I'll pay whatever, but give me a good price. I'll try to pay whatever, or you put that price out there, I'm going to show you love. Be like, what's the love discount? I just got to read your energy. I got to read your energy.
I want to go back to 1999.
Yeah.
2024. What has social media done for dentistry as a whole, and especially being able to put a face to dentistry versus walking into an office, you see it on there, you see a tooth as the logo, you don't know who you're going to walk into, whether it be Asian, white, Hispanic, more now popular for Black dentists.
Yeah.
How has this transition from when you first started to where they are, where dentistry is now, helped even just the trajectory of the more seasoned dentists or seasoned practice, if you will? How's that helped you guys, like from back then to now, especially with social media?
Okay. So I think what social media has done for me specifically from 1999 to 2024.
99 to the 2000. I know what Cash Money was doing in 99.
I think what it's done specifically is it's allowed me to be more of who I am. I think that it's allowed me to be on social media, to allow people to see my personality, allow people to see what I do, who I am outside of dentistry, who I am in my personal life, my public life, because I think it's all one thing. I think it's all one brand. So when people come to you, what they've already done is they've already seen your name. My name being Fatima, they already know that I'm probably African American.
Amen.
So they know
what
that.
they did.
They know what they did.
You know why you here. I know why I'm here, and you know why you here.
So I think what it's allowed to have happen for me specifically in my practices, it's allowed people to know who I am before they even get there. So it's tied a name with the face, and it's tied the personality to match it. So I think specifically social media has been a big plus for me. It's allowed me to come out in front of the camera and not necessarily be shoved behind the walls, the brown walls of a dental office. I think I'm not as muted now. I'm more colorful. I live out loud a little bit more.
Let me ask you a question. So you seen a transition
Yes.
to you just a dentist to you're a woman,
Yes.
right?
Yes. I'm a whole person.
Yeah.
A whole person.
Now, because that used to be the thing, just be a dentist. You worked hard, because our ancestors, like our grannies, our parents, they used to fear that what if you let all your talents be exposed to the world? No, you worked hard for that one, just stay there. And it goes back to Jesus with the 5 to 2 to 1 parable. If you got multiple talents, you got to double up on them. You got to expose them, or you can't be that one guy that bury your talent. And that's what I think the fear or our people used to try to do, is just say, hey, I fear that if you come out this lane and show all of you, that they're going to.
But I think that that's a generational thing. And as our younger populations, as we go from boomers to Gen X to millennials to Gen Z, you can just see so swiftly how our millennial doctors and our Gen Z student doctors, how unapologetic they are in their social media space and place. I mean, they are building their brands. They are comfortable in their skin before their journey really is even started as a provider. So they are so unapologetically themselves that, like, it's really only going to go up from here. I think Black people, Black providers are only going to continue to be unapologetically comfortable in every aspect of things they do, from down to the music you play at your office, down to the shoes you choose to wear, the clothes, the gym shorts, and the crew necks, and what you choose, what your staff looks like. You know, does your team get to wear a crew neck? You know, you're kind of shifting out of that cookie cutter box of, this is what the white man said we have to look like to be here. And at one point in time, to be Black and a provider, I think you had to fit that narrative perfectly.
For sure.
And, you know, with or without social media, it is, I feel like, propelling us far more forward and quicker than we probably can imagine. Because like you said, people know what you look like before they get there. They done scrolled through your page. If you have your work on there, they've seen it. If you don't, they at least see what you look like, how fun you are, how people interact with you, and probably trust you before they even arrive. They've chosen you based on your image, your identity that you are allowed to be comfortable in. And I mean, there's power in it. There's power in it as we break imposter syndrome. It's power in it as we increase access to care.
That's one of the beautiful consequences of social media, that they already know what they're getting.
But I think that's what's going to continue to bring our people out, is because we all got social media. Everybody. And the kids got it even more so now. You know, so it's like, sometimes I see kids and they watch dental videos on YouTube. And they be like, you watch dental procedures on YouTube?
Crazy.
And they're like, And it's like,
Crazy.
I didn't watch TV. I mean, I watched YouTube as a kid. But like, their exposure is crazy. You got people who would probably have never have anything to do with this profession, let alone find providers that they're trending. They scrolling on Instagram, boom, Black provider. And these people are willing to travel across the country to have a provider they see themselves in. I mean, I've sat in your office and seen a patient be like, man, I flew in from Denver. I really resonated with your life story and the things that have happened to you in your life. It happened to me too. And I see you out here being great, staying positive, serving the Lord, doing the Lord's work. And I had to come here and see you. And sometimes it just takes, I feel like, our people seeing themselves in us, our stories. We don't all come from the same place. We walk similar lives, you know, similar paths, similar journeys, similar experiences. And there's just power in that, you know, relation. We get it. It's an unspoken relief to walk in a room and have a Black provider, because I don't have to convince you of my pain or my suffering or my struggle. I don't have to convince you that I don't understand and I'm not stupid. I just may not get it. Just doctors say it another way. You know, there isn't as much embarrassment or fear of embarrassment. Like, it's just, I mean, the statistics say that, you know, Black providers or minority providers, almost 50% of their population that they serve patient is their community. So it's like minority providers are literally the key in increasing access to underserved and underrepresented populations.
Can we do a favor? Can we stop saying minority? I hate that word. Let's go on record. I hate it. But no, I hate the word minority, because it already devalues you before you even say anything or show up. That's number one. Number two, before we get to that point about TikTok, this generation and those who operate on social media, please be true to yourself. People are being swept up into everything that may not be their lane. And I believe you spoke on it before, and it's just super important to be you, because I was reading this book and talked about success is not who has the most money, who has the biggest house. Success is being the person that you desire to be. Some people say, what is your purpose? Like birds fly, they're successful in that. Fish swim, they're successful in that. But if you take a bird, put them in the water, has some challenges. And so I would love to tell individuals, like, be who you are. Don't just flip the script when the cameras are on and the lights are on, but be that individual, because what happens is that's how mental health challenges come. Because sometimes you can't flip that switch and you get locked into being something that you were never supposed to be.
It sounds like music. Like every musician, they say, like, I gotta be true to myself as an artist. You know, because if I do something they want me to do, and I remember Black was saying, it's like, if I do something they want me to do, I'll be stuck in that box and I can't create in that box. So, and that's why I said, like, dentistry is culture. It's culture.
It is, but the thing is, this is like, just make sure as individuals who are watching this, be you. Don't try to be something for the likes or the money or the fame and the fortune, because at the end of the day, there's gonna come a point in time where you're gonna have to be and sit within yourself. Yeah. And so that's something. But like, as we transition to, the TikTok surgeries, is that something that should be seen? I believe that it's good to have exposure. I believe that it's good for patients to see what they're walking into, so they can have a better idea of what's going on, because all clinicians don't communicate the same. And so you could have somebody who is great at what they do, but their communication isn't the greatest. And you could have somebody who's great at communicating, but they're...
Let me ask you this question right here, right? Because I go back and forth with this all the time. Who are the surgeries for? Is it for the doctors or for the patients? Because half the time the patients don't know what they're watching.
I mean, I would say that it's more of we talk about syndromes and fears. It's just exposure. So again, I'm watching a Black person that looks like me. Teeth look like mine. Not me personally, but in this situation. And you're like, man, they're undergoing this, that seemed a bit extreme to me. I don't have access. I've never seen that. Don't know anybody who's ever gone through that. And now I get to watch 60 seconds of somebody's gums being sliced and diced and peeled
out. Put them to sleep, like,
I mean, that too. Just being like the fear of like, am I gonna be awake? Yeah. Everybody's typically awake. You don't have to, but you can. You know what I mean? Like, you can.
But that's what you go to school to learn for sedation. And my brother Jared here, I've seen him sedate some people. I've seen him sedate some people before, and it goes well.
I say that there's pros and cons on both sides. There are individuals who are abusing it. There was one doc, he was on a hoverboard doing
I saw that.
Then on the medical side, you had this guy taking advantage of women in surgery.
That's crazy.
So I mean, these weren't our providers, by the way. Just if we're gonna be factual, these are our providers. But it's just like, it could go either way. And so, like what Rose keeps talking about, like, you really have to have a guiding light. You have to, like, if it's not God, hopefully it is one day, but it's just like, have a guiding light, because what happens is you get so far off.
Law of deteriorating conscience. When conscience deteriorate,
just gone. And it's just like, you don't have a home base. But when you have that home base to come back to and be like, okay, what is my North Star? Or what is my guiding light? Or how is God leading me? You're allowing yourself that if you stray, you could bring it back, because some people don't return.
And that's the whole point of dark. Because you can get far off easily when you get into the algorithm. When you get into the algorithm, you'll take it because you'll start producing what the algorithm wants you to produce.
Danger.
And that's dangerous. That's dangerous.
Danger.
Ding! I was there. I was there. I got 400, a lot of followers. All right.
So let me ask you brought up dark. What is dark to you?
Dark talk. DarkCon, dental aesthetics, rehabilitation, and knowledge, where clinicians from around the world, not just the United States, are coming together with the passion of serving, with the passion of growing their community, with the passion of growing themselves in dentistry. This is, you speak life with your words, right? And it comes from the mouth and power of the tongue. We talk about this all the time. And to know that we're not creating, God's created a space for us to come together and acknowledge we want to be better.
Right.
We want to be better, not just for ourselves, for God and for the patient, because he needs us right now. We also want to continue to grow in education, both ways, from a clinician standpoint and a community standpoint. We're shepherds. God said, my people perish for lack of knowledge, which means, hey, guess what? We're here to steward what we have. And if we have this knowledge to give, let's give that. If we have our skills to give, let's give that. If we circulate our knowledge and our dollars back into the community that we serve, we'll see kingdoms continue to rise and grow. We'll see that little boy, that little girl that's watching that YouTube video and say, I want to go be a dentist, mommy. You know, go be it. We'll start seeing scrubs come from us. We'll start seeing scrub caps come from us. We'll start seeing this whole economic shift where there's a lot that we can offer to our people. Mm-hmm. And it starts with a smile. I truly believe, like, speak more to life every day. Every day, smile. Speak more into life every day. And Dark Talk is one of the ones that can get you to knowing, and when the conference come, you'll start seeing people like, hey, you, like, you start seeing that spirit, like, give me a hug, like, I just see you, like, you know, like, everybody gonna come and sit down and realize, like, this is what I've been working for, to be here amongst each other. Mm-hmm. And know, like, this ain't nobody but God.